guys, first off, there is about a 60 to 70% chance that I'm going to be at the Arnold Classic this weekend. I don't know whether I'll be at one of the booths there or just walking around, just seeing people. But if any of you guys are there, hit me up. I'd love to meet some of you guys. Yeah, let's get right into this. So today, basically, I mentioned this in my video yesterday. I wanted to talk a little bit about why being weak in certain areas, having certain strength imbalances, while a lot of people look at it as, wow, this is a really big negative, they should really be looking at the opposite route. There's one quote that I can think of by Pete Rubish, and he probably said this maybe 2 or 3 years ago, that he said something about him having the traps of a 900-pound deadlifter. This is back when he was pulling in the low eights, maybe a little bit below. He has the traps of a 900-pound deadlifter, but maybe the lats or the hamstrings or something else of a 800-pound deadlifter. And the fact of the matter is, you're only as strong as the weakest link in the chain. So if you think about it, and you have those 900-pound deadlifting traps, but you only have 800-pound deadlifting lats, you're probably only going to be able to hit 800 pounds or possibly a little bit more, just because your traps are going to be overcompensating a little bit. Now, while some people just might think to themselves like, I'm so weak in the lats, I don't know if I'm going to be able to fix this. Don't look at it like that. In fact, you are at a big advantage over a lot of the people who are a little bit more balanced. For instance, and the reason I say that, and I guess this does not go for everybody, but if you are fairly strong in a lift to start with and you have a big imbalance, get ready to have a big increase once you fix that problem. So an example would be if maybe Pete brought if his traps continue to get a little bit stronger and his lats had compensated for the amount of work that they should have been doing, he might go from pulling, at the time at least, he might have gone from pulling 800 to 850 in a pretty short time if he'd worked on specific lat development, which obviously he's been doing because he's been pulling over 900 pretty consistently lately. A good example for me is I have a very weak overhead press in comparison to my my bench press. I can overhead press 220, 225-ish. My shoulders have been sort of a weakness as far as my bench goes. It's frustrating to some degree, especially because overhead press takes kind of a long time to develop even more. But sometimes 5 or 10 pound difference on a muscle group like that could make a pretty significant difference in a main lift. So it can make you a lot more stable, for instance, in the bench press, and because you have that increased stability, you're going to have a better output of the rest of your primary movers, like your triceps and your pectorals. So it's just something to think about. Don't look at it as a weakness necessarily. Look at it as an opportunity for you to be able to bring your lifts up a lot. If you guys have trouble pointing out what specific problem that you have in particular with your lifts, there are a couple of really good websites out there to help you guys figure it out. I think one is called symmetricstrength.com, and another one I think is called strengthlevel.com. And essentially the idea of both of them is you'll have a list of certain lifts, and then you can plug in the amounts of weight and the amount of reps you can do for each of these lifts. And based on what you score on each of these lifts, it'll give you what percentile you fall into people that are in your same weight class, as well as what is your weaker muscle groups in comparison to some of your more dominant muscle groups. And just based on that alone, that might tell you what accessories you might need to work on a little bit more. I think it's a very useful tool, and I highly recommend that you guys check it out, because this is the opportunity for a bunch of you guys who are having like things like poverty bench presses or poverty deadlifts or something like that to really be able to bring those things up. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. In the meantime, like, share, and subscribe. See you guys later.